Yo, 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 what is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of NBA to the Galaxy podcast, presented to you by DSM Media, as well as your host, myself, Captain Slim. You can follow me on X at R2R30111. You can follow your other host here at Scotty Drown. And as you can see by the title today, Warriors versus the Sixers recap. My man beat my team last night, so we're kind of down to that, as well as our updated NBA power rankings. It's kind of been a minute since we did this, but nonetheless, it should definitely be interesting to see what me and my guy Scotty got on our list over there. And yeah, it should be a great pod overall. A lot of good games coming on later today, so make sure you guys tap into that. But before we dive into any topics, my guy Scotty, how are you doing on this fine Friday
Happy Friday,
afternoon?
my brother. Happy
Afternoon.
Friday. We do not complain on these Fridays, bruh, as the week concludes. So I'm happy to be here with you, bruh. Second episode of the week, which is always great to get the content in. And like you said,
Absolutely.
our team's squared off. I'm not gonna talk too much shit to Slim today. Jimmy, Steph didn't play. I'm gonna give some grace. We beat y'all by 1 point, bro. At home. So it's a little pathetic how happy I am about the win. It's not because we beat the Warriors. It's just the way it played out. But happy to be here nonetheless with you, brother. How are you feeling after the game? I don't want to speak for you. How did you feel going into the game versus coming out of it? I guess we could start there.
Hey, I still feel the same. My hopes was never too high. I learned this about this team. I'm not going down that road ever again. And I'm not getting my hopes up too high until I just see something drastically change with this team. So I'm saying that, felt the same way when I went in and feel the same way when I left. So
Fair enough.
simple.
Fair enough, bruh. Because this is the game where you come out of it. If you're a Warriors fan, if you win it, great. That's an awesome win. You know, these young guys, whoever's playing. I keep saying young guys. Pat Spencer's 29. You informed me. He's not a young guy. He's
Exactly.
just young in NBA years terms, right? 2 years in the league, I think you said. He was cooking in I think it was at the beginning of the fourth quarter into the middle of the fourth quarter. They started really, really coming back. The big thing, man, the game started. The Warriors had 10 points in the first quarter. Bro. What? What?
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
And the
Man.
Sixers defense ranks in the bottom of the league. You know, we're not a good to even great, not even close to great defensive team. So that was just interesting. You guys were just missing shots. Like there were wide open shots all over the floor. Guys were missing everything. The Sixers end up 56-34 at half, I think it was, so a 22-point lead. And then you get into the third and fourth quarter. The Warriors outscore the Sixers 64-43 in the second half. So it's basically a tale of two halves. It ends up in a game decided by one. That is why I can't put too much stock into it outside of the way it finished. I think that there was some momentum gain there just with having to come back from an embarrassing collapse and then come back and fight to win it. Obviously, VJ got the putback rebound to win, and then Maxey with the block. How did you feel at the end though with D-Melt? He had the ball. It was like the ball was just following him up the court. There's 0.9 seconds left, and did you? I thought maybe it was a goaltend. I thought maybe it was a goaltend at first.
Yeah, I thought it was too. I mean, I thought he placed it perfectly on the glass, but
Yeah.
apparently not. But your boy Max came and beat that shit off the glass. It gave me a similar feeling because I had a block like that before in high school. I was trying out for the basketball team, and it's nothing like it, bro. Just blocking somebody, shot, bro. It's a different type of feeling.
That's
So
electric. Yeah.
yeah, shout out to Max for even jumping up that high and getting back. I mean, he was reading our offense very good last night. He picked us off like he read it so well.
Yeah.
But shit, he Deontay Melton, he covered him very well, and then
Yeah.
he missed it, and then VJ came right back and put it up,
Yeah.
and then they threw the ball up, and then he recovered and blocked the shot. So shout out to him.
And
Max.
VJ, he only had 10 points last night. He impressed me last night with the rebound and being in the right spot. His rebounding kind of reminds me of Josh Hart, just a little undersized, but able to find, athletic, be able to find spots to get those boards. Ultimately, it's not a game to write home about. I think both of our teams are in kind of similar spots right now. It's kind of middle of the pack. Yeah, I don't know. How do you view it, dude? I guess in the Eastern Conference is a little different. Like, there's a little more hope to be had, I feel like.
Absolutely. Yeah. I
But
think for you guys, like being in the East, you guys have a little bit more, leverage in the sense like y'all can give a little bit more grace. Whereas it's to being out west, bro, your room for error is very, very slim, as you can see
good
by
point.
my name there. It's very slim. So, in saying it, like the games we're losing right now, bro, come playoff time is going to come back and hunt us. I guarantee you.
Yeah, no,
That's the
that's a
only
great
thing, but
point. Great
I
point.
can see what you're saying. Like we are similar in the sense, like we dealing with injuries. You guys are just getting Joel back. You're still
Yeah,
trying to get Paul George back in the mix of things. So I can see that point of view for
few
sure.
older guys in the mix,
Oh
relying on
yeah,
Paul George and Bede, and likewise with y'all and Jimmy and Steph. Draymond goes out of the game last night. We'll see what's up with him moving forward. But yeah, no, that's all I got, man. I'm not gonna yank your chain too much with that game, brother.
no, I
Um,
mean for you guys, those some good things to take away. Barlow. I like what I seen for him. I think he finished the game like what 10 rebounds, something like
yeah,
that. So for him to kind of
lengthy.
step up and be that four guy, be that power forward for you guys, it's very vital for you guys' success for sure. Because Oubre, he's been out for a minute, so
Yeah,
you know,
no, I agree, man. I agree. McCain's still questionable usage, in my opinion. Like, he just gets such spotty minutes. That's something that we'll have to figure out. But we'll see. Who from last night, outside of like the obvious guys, I feel like, Kaminga, Pods, Moody, Buddy, those guys are going to be in the rotation. Is there any guys that are playing right now that aren't part of your normal rotation that you would like to see be inserted into the normal rotation after like
absolutely,
watching them recently?
absolutely. Pat Spencer and Guy Santos. Pat Spencer,
They cooked
uh,
last night, both of them.
Pat
Santos as
Spencer
well. Yeah.
actually, I think he just gave OKC like 17 the other night when we played them. We lost, but he was cooking, bro. Like
Yeah.
he has a lot of skill. He should definitely get
Fundamental.
fundamentally sound. So
Yeah.
I had to say Pat Spencer, bro. I hope that Steve Kerr give him more minutes moving forward, as well as Guy Santos. Guy is one of those guys. He hustles. He just knows how to play within our system. He shoots the right shots, and he's very versatile defensively. Um, so yeah, I feel like those two guys should definitely get more minutes moving forward for sure.
I like that. I like that.
And yeah, bro, I
What?
seen Bona.
He came in at the end. That was his only minutes in the fourth quarter. He
And
just came in
he
and gave energy. Yeah.
yes, I think didn't he block a shot or something? I don't
Yeah.
know. It was crazy,
He's
bro.
athletic as hell for sure. But yeah, Santos, I do remember him. He only had 4 points in the game, but I believe he might have had the bucket that put y'all in the lead in the fourth. It was like a very fundamental up and
Yep,
under
like
around the rim.
yeah. I don't know if
Yeah.
it was that would put us up. I thought it was Pat 3 that put us up.
No, you're
Oh,
right. It was Pat 3. You're right. You're right. It put y'all up. Yeah. No, you were down 1. That put y'all up 2 with his 3. But nonetheless, it was an entertaining game. Not the
no, yeah,
star
for sure.
names that you're used to, but it was entertaining nonetheless. Anything else, bro? Before we move on to power
Nah,
rank?
that's pretty much it, bro.
Yeah,
I can't let you have a spotlight for too long, my brother. We moving on.
we
I think we'll
moved.
play you guys again, like next year sometime. Like I don't know.
Yeah, we played twice, so we should play
Mm,
y'all once in Golden State.
mm.
So we'll
So
see
we'll
how
see
it
what that
rolls.
be like. Top 10 power rankings, baby. Moving over to the top 10 power rankings. How you want to do this? Like from 10 to 1 or 1 to 10?
Let's do 1 to 10 because I feel like you start off with 1, it's like very anticlimactic, right?
Okay. You want to go first, or
Yeah, I can go first. I can go first, brother.
I mean, after all, your team did win last night.
Fair enough. I earned that. Number 1, I feel like it's very obvious. The
Yeah,
Oklahoma City Thunder, bruh.
yeah, I was finna say, knew you had to say the name at this point.
Yeah, I don't even think we do. 10
You
and 0.
know,
They've won what, 10 games straight? I think they've won more than that. 13, I think, is the number right now. 21 and 1.
well,
Just got J Dub back. I They're number 3 in scoring, number 1 in opponent scoring. They're obviously locked in defensively. I don't know, man. I asked you the other day, but is there anybody? I guess you said Denver. Denver is that team that you think could compete with
Yeah,
OKC for
compete.
real.
Yeah, I was going to say compete. I wouldn't go too far to say beat, but they can definitely get those guys to run for their money.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I
I
feel
say
you.
that.
I feel you. So you got OKC as number 1 as well, I'm
Oh, yeah,
guessing.
for sure. Yeah, I mean, this team is 21-1. They're currently on a 13-game winning streak, and if they keep things up, they are on pace to break the Warriors record. The 73-9 season, they on pace to beat that. So,
Yeah, you
uh,
are right. You are
yeah,
right. One loss.
this team is built for the regular season and the playoffs. You know what's so scary, bro? I was chatting with my coworker about it. I said, bro, look at it from this perspective. This team is so good. They can literally load manage Caruso, Lou Dort, Isaiah Hartenstein to just about to the postseason if they really want to.
Yeah,
Because they have a lot of young guys on the team that know how to play within the system.
yeah.
And they know with SGA, that guy, everybody got a role and they play it to the T. You got guys like Isaiah Joe coming off the bench, just strictly shooting the ball. That's his role. Guys like Case and Wallace being a pest defensively, knocking down shots. Um, even the other Jalen Williams, just being a solid center, providing quality backup minutes, setting screens, making plays. Aaron Wiggins, I go on and on, but you get the memo here, bro. Like this team is very, very, very talented, bro. Like from the first guy to the 15th guy.
No, I obviously completely agree. Very well said. Number 2 for me, brother, is going to be the Houston Rockets. I know the record doesn't necessarily say number 2 to be exact, but 14-5 on the season. They're 8-2 in their last 10. The big deterrent for me that had me place them above the Lakers and the Pistons, which, to be fair, they've played more games, so you could argue that you play more games, maybe the numbers change a little bit. But Houston right now is better than LA and Detroit in scoring and opponent scoring, so per game. So in both metrics, they are better offensively and defensively. Obviously, I like the young talent. I like the length their starting lineup presents. I did want to ask you though, do you look at Houston as like a big 3? Is that how you would look at it, or is it
With
just kind of an overall team, or do you look at like Durant and Sengun leading the way? How do you kind of view their core there? Like, I guess what I'm asking is Amen Thompson, is he good enough to be part of that big 3 with KD and Sengun?
Yeah, I say so. I mean, he's averaging like 18 points per game.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'd say he's
5 or 6,
definitely
I think.
yeah, he has the talent to be that, part of a big 3 in the NBA. So I'm saying that like, yeah, Shangun, KD, hey man, for sure the top dogs on that team. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's interesting. It's interesting to see that big 3 and how it formed, but they are good nonetheless. Who you got at number 2, brother?
For me, man, coming in number 2, I have the Detroit Pistons. Obviously they
Yeah,
have
no.
came back down to earth over the past couple of weeks, but they still the top seed in the East. So,
Yeah.
that to me says a lot, surprise powerhouse, young stars, depth clicking early. They looking like real contenders right now. Cade Cunningham has been rallying the troops, and Jalen Duren still doing this thing. And they have a lot of young guys on the team that know their role. Guys
Yeah.
like Ron Holland, I think his last name Jenkins. I know how to say his
Yeah, I
first name.
know exactly who he has
Okay.
dreads, right? Yeah, he cooked us.
Oh,
I
well,
remember him.
okay. Well, you got to see that firsthand. So
I think he's a 2-way. I swear he's a 2-way contract too, bro. I won't swear. Let me take that back. Knock on wood. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that was said during the broadcast. But
okay.
just shows how deep their bench is. To your point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this team is very deep. So I have those guys being number 2 on my top 10 power rankings. This team has come a long way, and JB Bickerstaff, could very much so run away with Coach of the Year.
Yeah, that's very fair. I got Detroit at number 3, so that just kind of makes sense, makes it easy flow. Everything you said, they're leading the East. They're 7-3 in their last 10, so they have a good track record recently as well. They did just recently get Jaden Ivey back, so he's still getting acclimated,
That's
getting
a
back
good point,
into the
bro.
groove.
That's a great point.
So that should definitely help them. I'm with you though. They're a tough physical team. They have a ton of depth, and they do have a superstar leading the way in Cade Cunningham. I did want to ask you, did you peep Isaiah Stewart and Bobby Portis? I don't know if that was last night or the
Yeah,
night
yeah, yeah. I
before,
seen
but
that.
they
Yeah,
were about to
I
square
seen
up.
that.
He put
I seen
he put the fist up to
He
him.
put the why oughta.
Both of them don't play, so I don't even know. You know what I mean? I don't know which way that goes. They both are known to handle business off the course. So that was interesting. But yeah, Detroit comes in at number 3. I don't have too much to add on to what you said, brother.
Okay. Coming in number 3 for me, man, I have the Denver Nuggets out west. Jokic still having the MVP caliber year. Still one of the toughest playoff teams there is out there. A lot of guys been stepping it up. Peyton Watson and Big Zach,
Yeah,
being more aggressive offensively. Cam Johnson been starting to come along over the past couple of weeks. That's what you like to see. And this team is just, I like the roster construction overall around Joker. Jamal Murray just gave the Pacers like 50 the other night. He had like 10 threes. So when he
I
gets
did
to
see that.
cooking, this
Yeah,
team looks different for sure. Aaron Gordon went down with an injury, so he's going to be out for quite some time. But nonetheless, this team is very good. I like how the new head coach, been handling things. And so, yeah, this team definitely one of the ones in the West for sure. And I
yeah.
had those guys top 3 on my power rankings.
I like it. I like it. It's perfect once again because I have Denver coming in at number 4, 15-6 on the season, 6-4 in their last 10. The big thing to kind of ride what you said there. They're number 1 in the NBA in scoring right now, so they are putting the ball through the net, literally. Jokic putting up MVP numbers as per usual. And to your point, they have a lot of guys contributing, even with Aaron Gordon out of the mix. Peyton Watson gets that opportunity to kind of step up for them. But there's a lot of guys stepping up. They have 7 guys averaging double figures this season. And that's not even including known guys in the rotation like Valanciunas and Bruce Brown, right? They're not averaging double figures. So there's other guys on the roster that are contributing in a high manner in that sense. Like you said, just got to continue to figure out that Cam Johnson fit. But the Tim Hardaway Jr. kind of surprise that we've seen to start the season has helped, ease that in. They haven't had to rely on
Right.
Cam as much. But yeah, no, the West, I think, you see the way these have gone so far. The West is stacked. So Denver comes in at number 4 for me.
What's up, man? Coming in at number 4 for me, man, I have the Houston Rockets. You kind of hit on the head with a lot of great points. But I will say this, man, this is one of the biggest jumps in the league.
Yeah.
Defense is very elite. They are second in points allowed per game, um, roughly around 110. So that
Yeah.
kind of says a lot in the modern NBA era where it's a lot of buckets being thrown out here. But for those guys to be top 2, in points allowed per game, that says a lot. So I'm saying that they starting to figure it out. Guys like Reed Shepard, he has said that Amen Thompson told him that if he's open and he don't shoot the ball, he's going to fucking kill him or something. That kind of lets you know the confidence that they have in a guy like Reed Shepard.
Yeah.
And honestly, if a guy like Amen Thompson tell me that, I'd be kind of frightened too. So
That's
I'm shooting
hilarious.
every shot, bro. So, but now you get the picture here. Shangoon,
Absolutely.
amazing, talented player. My birthday twin. He's just one of the ones. Should definitely be an all-star this year for sure. And
Yeah,
then
I agree.
KD. So yeah, but that defense stands out to me the most for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Outside of I mean, they do, to your point, they have the second best defense statistically, scoring, to your point,
Mhm.
behind OKC. But yeah, Reed Shepard, he can shoot the thing. That is something I guess I didn't pay too much attention to him when he was in college, but obviously they talked about him coming out of college. He can shoot, but you start to see it at the NBA level. It's pretty impressive what he's done so far. So
Mhm.
I like it. Number 5 to round out the top 5, man. I have the LA Lakers coming in at number 5.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you, man. When I was making this list, I actually skipped over them completely and forgot about them. But luckily, I caught myself, had to come back, reset. And I did find their place in right at number 5 behind the Denver Nuggets. They're playing really good basketball. I don't know how else to put it. Luka's obviously leading the way in the MVP charge, in my opinion. LeBron's returned. He's not even playing he's not playing well, in my opinion, to his standard. And they're still able to win games. We had the little episode the other night that we discussed on Wednesday's show, which, makes you question LeBron a little bit where his head's at. But I imagine it's going to come around. Like the shooting is what I'm talking about. He's shooting 41% from the field, 26% from the 3-point line, and 55% from the free throw line. So the efficiency's got to go up a little bit. It's not like he's taking a ton of shots right now, but you expect a little bit more from LeBron. At the same time, you don't want to take too much out of Reeves and obviously what Luka's doing right now. But yeah, got to give the respect to the Lakers for what they've done so far. 8-2 in their last 10, 16-5 on the season.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I also had the Los Angeles Lakers coming in at number 5. That's ironic. Both of us agree with that. But strong record, veteran experience and consistent play, and that's the reason they earned top 5. My guy Austin Reeves dropped like 44 last night, and he only missed like 4, maybe 6 shots. So very, very efficient from the field.
Yeah,
Rui hit a game winner last night. So, but this team has been gelling very well. And I look at a guy like DeAndre Ayton, bro. He couldn't have landed in a better situation, like setting screens, feeding off guys like Luka and AR.
Yeah.
You couldn't ask for a better situation. Your job is very, very easy. And they've been playing together. Gabe Vincent, he has been looking a lot better this season opposed to previous years.
Yeah.
And so that's huge for, them, a guy coming off the bench providing offense. So, yeah, I have the Lakers top 5, bro.
Do you think what do you think the Lakers' ceiling is? Like, do you think they can compete for a championship? And I say that with respect to OKC as much as some of these other teams we have ahead of them, the Houstons, the Denvers. Like, where do you view the Lakers? Like, obviously, I know where we place them right now in the power rankings, but do you think they could get to a point where they go past one of those teams or both of those teams?
I think they can get past one of those teams for sure. It's all about matchups. And so they can reevaluate at the trade deadline because they are missing some pieces,
It's true.
So I
They
say
would only need
ceiling,
something small, too.
I say ceiling, potentially Western Conference Finals, maybe. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I can see that happening just off the strength of Luka and AR-15. I think this is the best backcourt in the league, if I'm being honest. So, yeah.
That's fair. No, that's fair. It would be interesting. I'm just thinking of them in a 7-game series against like Jokic. You know what I mean? Like, what does that really look like? But it goes both ways. Like, same thing with playing against Luka in a sense. Nonetheless, number 6, going outside of the top 5. I do have the New York Knicks, man. I feel like I'm giving them a little bit of grace here. They're 14-7 on the season. They are 7-3 in their last 10, so they do have a pretty good track record. They're 11-1 at MSG, so at home this season. They have only 1 loss out of 12 games. They're 4th overall in point differential. They have 7 players right now averaging double digits, which obviously just shows the contributions. But I think the biggest thing here with the New York Knicks for me is the room to grow under Mike Brown. I think they do have space to improve. But maybe I am giving them a little bit too much grace over some of the other teams in the Eastern Conference that you could argue have been a little more impressive so far. But I come out of this with the Knicks at number 6, man.
Okay, that's what's up. For me, man, coming in number 6, I had the San Antonio Spurs. Ever since De'Aaron Fox has made his return back to this team, he has been gelling. They has been gelling. Wemby been out because Stephon Casa been out. And so he just been taking these guys on his wing, leading the charge. And, I just love what I've been seeing. Dylan Harper came back. He's been looking pretty solid. And so he's been keeping these guys in the mix of things. They're currently the 4th seed in the West. So that kind of says a lot right there without Wemby or an important piece like Stephon Casa. So in saying that, I think they earned to be top 6 on my top 10 power ranks for sure.
No, I feel that. I actually have the Spurs coming in at number 7. A lot of what you said, De'Aaron Fox has kind of led the way with Wemby out. And, it's interesting looking at the Spurs right now because looking at the power rankings, I'm looking at the success they're having right now without Wemby. And so you just wonder, like, when is Wemby going to return? Can they stay afloat that long until he gets back? There's still no timetable for him to return from that calf strain. And you don't want to rush him. I don't mean it that way either, right? But yeah, I think this speaks to the depth that they've built through the draft, through trades, bringing in a guy like De'Aaron Fox, Harrison Barnes contributing down the line. And the big thing that I'll say here with the Spurs at number 7 in the power rankings, we talked about it on Wednesday. Could they potentially make a move for a guy like Giannis down the line? I know Giannis just got injured. We don't know what's to come of that. But the Spurs have a lot of valuable pieces sitting around that they could move potentially for a guy like Giannis. Do you want to, mortgage your youth for Giannis to put him with Wemby, De'Aaron Fox, so on and so forth? Sounds really nice. I won't lie to you, but it is something to think about. Like, what would you have to include in that? Would it be a Dylan Harper? Would it be a Stephon Cassell? Like, I don't know. I'm definitely not getting rid of both of those guys. I don't mean it like that, but one of them in the draft capital. I don't know. But Spurs at number 7 for me, brother.
Okay, that's what's up, man. Coming in at number 7 for me, I have the Toronto Raptors, man. Gotta give these guys a lot of credit. They for sure overperform expectations. Balanced team, tough every night. And with that being said, they're top 3 in the Eastern Conference for a reason. These guys are feeding off each other, playing off their guys, RJ, Scotty, and BI. And it's been an amazing sight to see for sure. So this is why they earned to become, 7 of my top 10 power rankings for sure. A lot of unselfish basketball over there, I'd say.
I like that. They actually come in at number 8 for me as well. So we're kind of it's weird.
I see what you're doing here, bro.
That's how power rankings work, though, man. We should be similar. We should be if we're being consistent and fair with these teams. We should have similar power rankings. But Toronto comes in at number 8. Everything you said, they're very well balanced. They got a nice little big 3 going on up there in Toronto between RJ, BI, and Scotty Barnes. Obviously, Emmanuel Quickley's a very solid player. I love what their coach is doing as well. I love the scheme. Like you said, kind of playing selfless basketball. They're very defensive oriented. I feel like they can get even better defensively with that big 3 that they're working with. And I think they could hone in and make that their strong suit at the end of the road. But just like I said with the Knicks, they have like room to grow. I think this team even more. They're young. They have some room to grow as well. We'll see if Grady Dick can continue to improve his role in the team and improve his production. But like you said, I like the Toronto Raptors right now, 7-3 in their last 10, 3rd in the East. And we'll see if they can keep this up throughout the season, man. But Toronto at number 8.
Okay. For me, man, coming at number 8, I have the Miami Heatles. This is a team 4th seed in the East, 7-3 in their last 10. And I just love what I've been seeing from these guys, especially since Tyler Hero came back. This team has not lost his step. He's fit right in with those guys doing this thing, and they're still doing their thing. So, Miami is one of those teams you have to kind of watch out for in the postseason too. They have a lot of wings over there. They can go big, they can go small. So, I just love what I've been seeing from these guys. And I think if they keep it up, man, Norman Powell could probably make a case to be an all-star this year. Maybe.
Yeah.
I thought he should have been one last year for sure, but I have Miami coming in at number 8, bro.
We got to see how, Tyler Hero impacts his production long term. But, yeah, I feel you. The way he's been playing so far, I would say yes. Funny enough, Miami did not make my top 10. I'll just throw that out there. But they are my honorable mention, though. They are the first team out. But number 9 for me is going to be the Minnesota T-Wolves. They're only 6-4 in their last 10. They have won 4 in a row, though. That being said, it's really I'm looking at Ant. I'm looking at what he's trying to do with this team. His last 6 games, or no, there was a stretch, excuse me, not counting the last game, the 6 games prior to his last game, 11-21 through December 2nd. He scored 41 points, 43 points, 31 points, 39 points, 32 points, 44 points in a 6-game scoring stretch like that. And it's just impressive to see his leadership with that roster. They got some young guys they're building over there with Terrence Shannon and Dillingham. So we'll see how they can iron out. I think to your point that you've made about a couple teams so far today, I think they're a team that could ultimately make a move as we approach the deadline as well. See what you can do to
Mhm.
improve there. But I like the way Ant's leading them right now.
Okay, so I got a question since we're on the T-Wolves. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on Rob Dillingham? Like, has he been getting like any minutes lately or what?
I just watched the T Wolves the other night. I just from watching it seems like his minutes are very dependent on how other guys are playing. So
Okay.
if Dante DiVincenzo is not hitting tonight, Rob Dillingham might get a little bit more run. Mike Conley, right? If he's not playing well, you might see him a little less, a little bit more of Dillingham. But in the games that I've watched, just to be fair, I feel like Shannon, like if I was to compare the two young guys and their production, just I don't know why I view them in the same light, but I do feel like Shannon has made more of a role for himself
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the team so far.
that's
But
true.
I do like Dillingham's game. I think he just needs confidence, man. I think he
Yeah,
needs
like that's what
heavy
like when I look
minutes.
at yeah, like not to cut you off, bro.
No,
When I
you're
look
good.
at like Reed Shepherd for a prime example, he was in a similar situation. He wasn't really getting a lot of minutes last year,
Yeah,
but then the injury happened to Fred Van Vliet. Now you seeing that he's
yeah,
always the talent is always there. For the most part, with the young guys, opportunity don't always be there. When you look at a guy like
exactly.
Rob Dillingham, he's a very talented player. Just the opportunity has not came yet. So in saying that, you hit on the head. But I think with Terrence though, bro, it's just that the league is more wing orientated, so
It's fair.
he's going to have a little bit more opportunity to get minutes than a guy like Rob because
It's fair.
they'll probably go big and then play like Ant at the one or something like that.
Yeah.
Run the
No,
offense, yeah,
that's a
run
great
the
point.
offense with Julius or Ant. So
No,
yeah,
your point about Reed, it's a great comparison because if Fred Van Fleet doesn't get injured this preseason or before the
right.
preseason, whenever it happened over the summer, does Reed Shepard get this? He obviously wouldn't have this big of a role,
I don't think so,
but how much
honestly.
would it restrict him and keep him off the court? And I don't know, it's a tough situation, but
Mhm. Yeah, but coming in, there's 9, right? It was your ninth team.
yeah, that was 9.
Yeah, okay. So coming in number 9 for me, man, I had the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference. This team is 8-2 in their last 10, currently on a 3-game winning streak, and that is the Boston Celtics. This team's starting to come alive a little bit. Peyton Pritchard has been cooking this season, bro. He just gave the Cavaliers like 42 last week or earlier this week. Jaylen Brown averaging nearly 30, and
Yeah,
it's no surprise, a very talented player. Still talented, but less dominant this season. Up and down, pushes them kind of lower for my liking. So but I say like for them to still be hanging around, top 5 in the
yeah,
East, that's impressive, bro, without Tatum. It
yeah,
makes you think like, if come playoff time, they still in the mix of things like play in or playoff.
yeah.
Is Tatum looking to make a comeback this season?
Yeah, it is interesting, man. And interesting enough, I have Boston finishing out my top 10 as a number 10 team. For a lot of the reasons you mentioned, Peyton Pritchard obviously having a great season, Jaylen Brown stepping up. We know that Jaylen Brown can be a number one. Like we've seen it in the biggest
Absolutely.
moments. So it's not that I'm surprised by that, but he is doing it nonetheless. And I think the biggest thing for me, man, is it's not that they weren't locked in defensively before or with Tatum, because he's a great defender as well. He's athletic, he's lengthy. But it seems like they are kind of buying in more on that side of the ball. They are third in opponents' points per game this season, so they are kind of honing in on that defensive orientation. We know in the past they love to get those threes up, score a lot of points, but they're locking in defensively with kind of the changes to the roster right now, which is impressive to me. So, yeah, I feel you, man. I had to keep Miami. That was one honorable mention. Orlando was the other one I gave thought to at number 10 as well. But Boston's just playing better right now.
Yeah, for sure. And in my top 10 power rankings list, I have the New York Knicks. They have
Fair
a good
enough.
record, and they are currently the second seed in the East, 73 in their last 10. But I just had to get the other guys more of a nod in a sense, especially a team like Miami, because I feel like they don't just get enough, love and praise
Recognition.
compared to
Yeah.
those other teams. So New York, on the other hand, they always been put in the spotlight and whatnot, especially when a guy like Stephen A. Smith is constantly showing them love. That's his favorite team, on ESPN and stuff. So nonetheless, I had these guys, my last on my top 10 power rankings, the New York Knicks 14-7 overall to start the year off. And they may be getting maybe getting Greek Freak. Who knows? They have
Never
the
know.
pieces to make it happen. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Never know. There's a lot of teams on that list. You just never know what they might do. But that does conclude our top 10 power rankings, man. I think they were pretty similar. Did we have, excuse me, the
Um,
same teams? No,
I had
Miami and
in
Minnesota were the
Minnesota.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had Miami. You had Minnesota. So as a
Okay.
matter of fact, speaking of that, unless you had something else, I just
No.
came with it. Okay. To end the show off, speaking of that, the weekly Who You Got segment. Which team would you trust more in the playoffs currently constructed? The Miami Heat or the Minnesota Timberwolves? Who you got?
I'm gonna go with Miami just because they're in the Eastern Conference. But I think they are similar teams, and if these teams played head to head, I would take Minnesota. But I think Miami in the Eastern Conference, with the weaker opponents that they may face, there's a chance they could get to the second round, for example, right? Like I think there is a real chance of that if they can make the postseason. Minnesota would be like top four, I would think. I would think they would be a top four, top five seed in the Eastern Conference. But in the West, it's
Yeah,
just
for sure.
completely
I agree.
different ball game. What
So
about
if
you?
you I gotta grow with Miami. I mean, I had them on my top 10 power rankings. You didn't. But
Fair enough.
no, they got more dogs over there, in my opinion. A lot of guys that know their role and play it to the T. No disrespect to Minnesota, but if I had to if a team that I trusted more in the postseason, it would definitely be Miami. Like it's a thing called heat culture for a reason. And so those guys are just, buying into that or whatever. So
Yeah.
you mentioned something, man. You said if Minnesota was in the East, they'd be a top 5 seed. So what if Miami was in the West? You think that they'd be top 8, maybe top 7, maybe currently constructed, no trades or none.
I don't know. I would have to literally look at the team. Off the top of my head, I would say they would not make the playoffs. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe I'm sleeping on the Miami Heat.
Actually, I would say they would. I would say I think they better than Phoenix. They the 7 seed. Uh,
See, I think they're like the same caliber as Phoenix.
that's
So
fair.
to be fair, I think they're like the same caliber with the way Phoenix is playing.
Yeah,
San
but
Antonio, like I don't know, man. The Clippers are playing down this year, so they're not in the mix.
bro, we
Grizzlies
definitely
not
got to stay in
really.
that team, man.
Yeah. So I mean, I would put them. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, they could do 7 through 9 ish. Yeah,
Yeah, that's why I said like play in type.
because they could beat Dallas and what Phoenix. Like you said, they
Memphis.
are similar caliber, I would say. Um, and then yeah, there's only like really 6 teams with an actual better record, so it's fair. It's fair.
But this should be
I
a
just
good
think
match.
Ant would dominate in the East. He would be the best player in the East. So I don't know.
The
I
best
just
player in the East over Giannis?
Giannis is on
Over,
a bad team though. Like best player on a competing team. Let me put it that way. That's
okay,
fair.
over
Giannis is
Brunson.
the best player in the East. That's fair. I'm not even thinking of him when I say that though. Like because the Bucks just aren't in the picture for me. They're not a
Okay.
good team.
Yeah, I mean, you got Mitchell over there, Brunson, Maxi.
I'm taking Ant over all those guys for sure.
It's fair. I ain't mad at it. You keeping it real, and that's what we do
Cade
over here.
Cade is the guy that's creeping in the combo. Like he is like we talked about this. I think we did a Who You Got segment on Ant and Cade earlier this year. And he's the one guy with a competitive team. Maybe.
True.
But the Heat conversation, that's fair. That's fair. In the West, I was sleeping on them because there's not that many teams in the West I would take over them. So that's a fair
Yeah,
call
you
out.
say that now, Scotty, but we know how you are, bro.
Yeah,
But
I don't
no,
like the Heat, to be clear. So I probably have
yeah,
bias there
you
against
made
them.
that. Yeah, trust me, them in Boston, you kind of made that obvious when I first
Yeah.
met you. So Yeah, but
New
if you
York
don't have
Knicks
nothing else,
too. Throw them in there.
if you don't have nothing else, man, we can get up out
Nah,
of here.
we're good, bro. Happy Friday, man. I'm good.
Happy Friday, but make sure you guys. Hey, we got 28 people viewing us, so we got 25 viewing through DSM Media and 3 on YouTube. We need all 25 to go to the YouTube channel and subscribe
Yes,
and turn
sir.
those notification buttons on, please. And we will be
Help
back
us
here
out.
again next week for sure. Make sure you follow us on TikTok at NBA to the Galaxy Pod. We post great clips on there all the time and keep you guys up to date. And we will be here again next week for sure. We just gotta see what day works revolving around our schedule. But
Yes,
make
sir.
sure you guys enjoy the slate over the weekend. Some good matchups going on today as well as tomorrow. So yeah, with that being said, if you ain't got nothing else, my guy, we out. Peace.
Peace, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Have
Well
a great
said,
weekend.
Slim.
Enjoy, man.
Great job leading the way, my man. Peace.
Yes, sir.